welcome to Move Your Body Monday. Basically, I try every Monday to come to you with some information, some tips, some personal experiences that have helped me feel motivated for the week ahead. And here we are, it's a new week. And this week, I'm going to be talking to you about my routine and how I manage to fit in fitness. Quite often people just come up to me and they say, how the heck do you fit it in? And I've preached about this so much, about the fact is that we believe that we need to do an hour, and I think that's a lie. We do not need to do an hour of fitness. We need to just fit something in. Moving your body a little bit is better than not at all. And so, like in my previous videos, there is no such thing as what's the shortest workout I can do. The best workout you can do is the workout that you do. So with that in mind, how do I actually practice what I preach? This is my story. So I am an entrepreneur. I own a gym and the Fitting in Fitness app. And it is a crazy busy life and one that I absolutely love. I love business and I love the people that come with it. But I also have 2 small children and husband and a social life and hobbies and everything else. So it is just double crazy. And you're going to have your things and they are awesome, and I don't want you to drop any of them. I'm not here to tell you that you don't have space. I know that you've got space, okay? So I've got 2 young children. I've got a husband that works away quite a lot, and it's just a hectic life, but one that we choose basically every single day and that we love. And the main thing that I get frustrated with my life, and I'm just going to say it, I think we have to be honest about our life, is that not 2 days are the same. Now, I love spontaneity. I love having no plans. And if you told me that I would be craving routine, I would have laughed in your face. But I actually do every single day, because not 2 days in business are the same. And so therefore, routine is something that I kind of wish I had, but it doesn't really happen for me. Now, you may have a 9 to 5, and so therefore you have a natural routine, and that is awesome. And, I would love for you to do some trial and error as to how you can move your time around in your 24 hours to make sure that you doing the thing for yourself, which is moving your body, choosing the foods, choosing the mindset, so that you can perform better at work, have a great evening of relaxation and social life, and sleep well. That is something that you need to do. And you can take some of my tips from today, but my biggest takeaway is this has to be trial and error. This is something that you're going to have to test and retest and reflect upon over the next couple of weeks, months, and obviously also through the seasons too, because it's so hard to have a routine in winter if you're just using the same routine that you had in summer, especially here in the UK, where our time changes dramatically with the light, with the weather, and with people's moods, not looking at anyone in particular other than myself. So what can you do to fit this into your routine? Here is what I do. So what I've done over the last 4 to 6 years, where I've really been trying to be intentional about my day and my energy, is that I have now come up with the idea that I have 2 categories of days. Like I said, not 2 days are ever the same, but they generally fall into 2 days. I have my thriving days and my surviving days, and I think you'll know what I mean by that. My thriving days look like this. Let me paint a picture. My alarm clock wakes me up. I wake up with energy. I know what's coming up in the morning. I'm excited for the day. I know where I need to be at what time, and I'm prepared for everything else in between. So where my kids need to be, where my husband will be, what we'll eat that day, and I am buzzing for it. I'm like, come on, This is the day that I was made for. It is a new day. Let's smash it. Those are my thriving days. Generally, what happens in the morning for my thriving days, my morning routine for me is critical because I am a morning person, and that is, again, come from trial and error, deciding should I put all my hard work in the morning or should I put it in the evening? And what I did when I was doing that kind of exercise of deciding where my hard work should be, if I put it in the evening, I would be demotivated. I would be in my pajamas. And when I'm in my pajamas, I am not there mentally. So I worked out that, yes, even though I may not jump, hop and skip out of bed in the morning, I am in fact a morning person. And you need to do that for yourself to decide what part of the day is where you are at your peak and you are you at your best. Okay, so for me it's the morning. So on my thriving days, my mornings look like waking up with my alarm, kind of having a stretch, getting out of bed, going straight down, having my glass of water, which I've talked about before. I think we have to have a glass of water before we have our morning coffee. It kind of flushes the body, but also hydrates the body, ready so that you can caffeinate. So hydrate before you caffeinate. So I have my glass of water. I flip the kettle on the switch. I make my coffee. I then go and sit down at the kitchen table and I read, I journal, and then I move. Okay, so that's my three things. I read the Bible, but you have your own thing that you can read. That's what motivates me for my day, gives me a sense of purpose for the day. And then I journal. I have a specific structure that I journal, which I have shared before, and I'll link it below, that I do my 3 I ams, my 3 things that I'd like to achieve in the day, and 3 goals that I'm working towards. I do my journal and then I move. So I've got my sense of purpose. I've written things down in my head and kind of set my focus on the day. And then the final one is that I actually move my body. Now, after having done those 2 things, I now feel like raring to go. And so I have the energy and the enthusiasm to move my body. And on those days, I pick up my phone and I open the Fitting and Fitness app, and I like to just scroll randomly and pick one, because if I'm given the choice, or, I'll just do nothing. So I just kind of, yep, I'll do that, boom. And that generally is 10 to 15 minutes. And then after that, I feel like my body is pumping, the blood flow is going round and round, and I am ready to get on with the day. When I'm feeling on that high, I then go straight into, if I'm out being outside, I go straight into the house and I'm on it. So I set up all the things that I need for that day. I make my lunch, I make my kids' lunch, I set out all our clothes, I make sure everything's by the door for that crazy time where we have to leave. I know, crazy. And make sure that I'm set up for the day. Now, quite often, my kids are already awake by this time, but now they're used to me actually working out in the mornings, because they either see it as me playing with them. I know that's crazy, but that's how they see it. Or they're just so bored and they just want to watch the TV anyway that they leave me alone. If that's not the case, the other thing I'll do is make sure they're eating their breakfast while I'm moving my body, and that also works great for us. So ideally, in an ideal world, my kids would be asleep and then this is the time that they would wake up. So I've actually had to move my schedule to suit the time that they naturally wake up. So it means I've got to wake up a little bit earlier, but that is a great, compromise for me. I can do that as long as I know that I'm going to get what I need for the day and I can relax in the evening. Now, on the flip side, there is quite often, let me be real here, I'm going to say 50% of the time, I am simply surviving, and it's not great. I wish I could say it was not the case, but I do. I have to survive the day, and so there is another plan. Now, I've always said you need to plan for the good days and you need to plan for the not so good days, okay? My surviving morning looks like I skip the alarm. Generally, that means that I've had a rubbish night, and we're all susceptible to those. And so I skip my alarm and I wake up at the last possible moment, which is generally just as about somebody's about to jump on me, generally a child. And I kind of go groan and I get out of bed. and I kind of shake my head and think, okay, let's go. I go downstairs and I set up for the day. So the setting up for the day was the last thing I did. On my great days, on my not so great days, I set up for the day first, because it puts me in the mindset of the day, because all I can think about is how rubbish my sleep was. Then now I'm trying to forget about that, and I'm going to try and set up for my day. So I go around the house and I make sure everything's in the right place, ready for us to leave the house or for my day, because sometimes I work at home, sometimes I head to the gym. So I set up for the day first. Then I make my coffee, and that's when I then get to sit down. And that usually is when my kids are eating as we're about to rush out of the house. So I still have my coffee, I still have my moment of, okay, come on, Sarah, we've got to get through this today. And then generally that's at the last possible moment, and then we leave the house in a mega hurry. Now, I said this was not a great day. That's the honest truth, that's how it happens, okay? But then I need to make sure on those days that I then have another opportunity to then sit down, journal, read, and then move. Okay, so I still fit in those 3 things, but they just don't happen at the beginning of the day. Now for you, if you're working a 9 to 5, that could be on your lunch break. It could mean that you get a bit of a tea break about 10 o'clock. It could be that you do it in the car as a voice note, as an audio book. And then you plan your movement, you're moving your body, your exercise in a lunch break again, or another break, or straight after you get home from work. That's how that would work on those types of days. But like I said, you need to make this fit your world, and there's no chance I can help you with that, because that's something that you need to do. So that's how I do it. I take the kids to school, I get to work, I make sure that I look at my calendar ahead of the day, and I literally put in my calendar, move your body for half an hour in some point of that day. And that's how it works for me. I still get to go home at 4 o'clock with my kids and get in my pajamas, and that's what, like, I'm pure parenting at that point. That's it, just chilling and enjoying my family. But, otherwise, I need to have all my stuff done by 4 p.m. You might be the flip opposite. You might be able to do all of that stuff from 4 p.m. onwards or 5 p.m. onwards. But I still recommend having a bit of a plan, a bit of a routine. Doesn't have to be set in stone, but a routine for the good days, a routine for the not so good days. So that is how I make it work for me. I often talk about things like habit stacking, where we take a habit that you're wanting to do and you stack it onto something that you already do. So I quite often say, when you are boiling the kettle for your coffee, go and move and say to yourself, I will not have my coffee until I have moved my body, or something like that. If you always shower in the evenings, tell yourself, I will not shower until I have moved my body. And then go do 5 minutes, go do 8 minutes, go do 12 minutes, whatever it takes, so that you can move your body before that other habit is awesome. And you should totally give yourself some credit for that, because you've probably done 100% more than most other people. So let me summarize. My routine has 2 different scenarios, and I genuinely wake up each day and think, what day is this going to be? Am I thriving or am I surviving? And if you think that's the wrong mindset, I'm so open to be taught better. So if you think that I can change my mindset in terms of those 2 things, then come at me. I love it. But yeah, I choose. Is this a thriving day? Is this a surviving day? And shock horror, it generally is a thriving day if I've done some good stuff the day before in terms of prepping or moving or eating the right foods. Okay, so I have 2 strategies for 2 different days. I generated those strategies through trial and error. I did 2 different days, 3 different days, 4 different days, and then found what works the best for me over probably about the period of 2 years. And now I know what works best for me. And whenever we have trial and error, we also therefore need to take time to reflect. When you finally kind of collapse at the desk in the morning and at work and you think, whew, what a morning, that's your opportunity to say, okay, what worked this morning, what didn't work this morning? And then when you have reflected, time to try new things. Try to find something else that you can add to your morning or take away from the morning. Or can you delegate? Or can you change some sort of environment? Try always be open to new things. And then my final point is you must always have a backup. So I have a backup so that moving isn't an option, and I have a backup plan so that eating bad, foods that just don't agree with me isn't an option. So I have days where I go to the gym because I feel like I'm thriving, and then I have fitting and fitness as my backup for days where I just feel like I'm just surviving. So for example, on a thriving day, I do 12-minute workouts. On a surviving day, I do one of the 5-minute workouts. I have a backup plan for the days where I just don't think I'm going to be able to do anything, and so I do that. Okay, and then for my nutrition, for example, my backup plan is that I've talked about it on my Instagram, I drink Huel. The reason why I drink Huel is because it's perfect macros, it makes me feel incredible. It doesn't taste the best, but it makes me feel incredible. And so that's my backup. If I know I'm not going to have time to eat the right foods today, my backup is always that I've got a dry one of those in my bag so that I can quickly mix it at any point and drink it, because it's like a perfect balance of all the types of energy that I need to fuel my day. So trial and error, take time to reflect, try new things, and then always have an option for the days where you're just not going to hit the normal routine. Okay, always have a backup plan for the good days, plan for the bad days. I hope that helps. I hope there's some things that you can take away from this to put into your life. Let me know if you start to try out a new routine in the mornings or the evenings. And also let me know in the comments if you are a morning person or an evening person. All right, I hope you have a great week ahead of you. We have got this, team. Make sure you check out the Fitting and Fitness app and make sure you fit in some movement this week to give yourself a fighting chance at enjoying life. I hope you can smile at someone this week, and even better if you can get a funky picture to share with us. All right, have a great one, and I will see you next week for Motivation Monday.